What is going on, everybody? In today's video, I'm gonna be showing you how I took my client's pipeline from looking like this right here to, looking to 18K in pipeline to over almost 50K in the pipeline, including three things I've learned that should help you out if you're running an offer or if you're just a business owner or info creator who's going to launch their own offer or who's in the midst of launching their own offer. And I'm going to be telling you the three biggest mistakes I've learned from doing all this stuff. You know what I mean? So therefore, you can avoid it and you can actually make a lot more money than I did in faster time frame. But without further ado, let's get started. So this was my client's channel at the time. And what his channel niche was that he was selling YouTube coaching, meaning how to get your first 1,000 subscribers and how to make your first online money. And here's kind of more social proof right here a little bit. This was a different screenshot, but you get the point though, you know what I mean? And yeah, so what my client was doing at that time was he was running a YouTube to school page funnel sales page. And at the time, he was doing pretty decently, you know what I mean? But the main thing is, if you guys are looking at here, right, you see how much he's charging the school. Let me make this bigger real quick, and you see how many members are inside, right? Now you probably think to yourselves, okay, he's probably making a lot of money, right? $47 occurring every single month for these 82 people. He's probably making 13K, right? That seems like a lot. When in reality, he was not making 13K for one main reason, which I'll review in a second. But guess how much he was making? He was making $3,000 to $6,000 every single month. Now, is that bad? Of course not. But you get the point though. So how did how did 13K go from how did 13K go from potential value to 3K a month? Well, the simple fact is that he had an upsell page, and the upsell page was basically where once the person bought into the school community, and mind you, this was on the sales page, so the funnel was like YouTube to sales page, and the sales page was on the school, and it led to here, right? And after the person bought, the school community, it actually upsell them. We want to buy a lot of membership for $97 a month, and a lot of the time, a lot of people buy it. Why? Because this is much more cheaper. You're actually saving a lot more money. This is a magnificent deal. Like anyone would take it. You know what I mean? But a big flaw with that was that he wasn't getting a lot of MR, bro, and that was a big thing he was having trouble with just the traffic, not traffic. The recurring revenue he wanted to make. So now you might be thinking, okay, if this was the issue, then can't we just remove the last membership? And at the end of the day, yeah, like surface level, yeah, you probably could, but there's a big thing though when it comes to that. Churn will happen, and in order to reduce churn, you have to spend a lot of time in the community and actually make sure that a lot of people enjoy the community. And right now, his churn rate is like really freaking like low, so that is really good. So props to him. But at the time though, it was getting pretty high a little bit. So when I came into the business, I did three things that made sure that our opportunity value skyrocketed in just under 2 months, which were three main things. One, we got really targeted on who our ICP was, meaning who did we want to sell to, who was our audience, who was the one person that was gonna be the perfect dream customer for us. Second, we dialed in our offer, meaning what was our offer, what were the results, what's the guarantee, what was the mechanism, what was everything we needed to know to make sure how can we deliver this result to our clients. And third off was the hiring process, meaning hiring the setters, hiring the closers, hiring everyone we needed in order to make this achievable. And I got started on the first one. So I made an ICP sheet, meaning this sheet was just basically what were our audience's beliefs, problems, pains, driving forces that made them take action. What were their emotions? What were their desires? What were their problems? And this took me about a couple of days to really fill out because this is 9 pages, it's like really in depth. And I filled this out by going on Reddit, searching forums, going to YouTube comments, going to just over like other YouTube people's products and just like scouring the internet to find these informations. Why? Because I wanted to make sure we had the ICP really dialed in. I didn't want to just go at the top of my head and like, oh yeah, I think I know what this person wants. When in reality, they probably want the opposite. You know what I mean? So by taking a little bit of time to actually understand my ICP and to make sure understand our audience, we were actually able to make a lot of money because of this. And here's literally an example sheet that we did, like goals and dreams, fears and insecurities, best situations they avoid, all this other stuff. Yeah, you could literally just like run this type of thing. It doesn't have to be that complicated. Just get the core aspects of just their pains, dreams, desires, and what they want, and you're basically chilling. You know what I mean? After that, we actually had another sheet like this where we created a ideal we created an ideal candidate, meaning what is the one person we will want to target? Meaning out everyone, what is the one person that we want to target? What is the one person who we want to buy from us? Meaning the perfect dream customer. And after that, we started dialing our offer. And how we did it was we figured out, okay, so what did our ICP want? We already knew that already. What did our clients, like, what was his, like, freaking host like job? Like, what did he do? Well, he taught people how to get subscribers. He taught people how to grow their channels, right? So, and he already had an offer at that point, so we kind of just dialed in a little bit. And the most, like, simplest way we put our offer was get your next 1,000 subscribers. It was that simple. Guaranteed. It was like, get your next 1,000 subscribers guaranteed, or you get a fucking full refund or something like that. It was something like that. So after that, we had to figure it out. Okay, how can we get them to these next 1,000 subscribers? It was through channel positioning. Now, this is the mechanism. This is the thing this is the driving force that gets us to this results, and that makes us stand out from everyone else in the YouTube niche. Oh shoot, yeah. Now, in order to understand channel position, you have to understand the stage of YouTube at that point. The stage of YouTube was YouTube thumbnails all look the same, meaning that every time you watch a video, the same YouTube thumbnails always had the same fonts, always had the same, posture, always had the same, like face expressions, all this other stuff. Meaning that every time you posted a video, when someone scrolls past your channel, they're not really going to notice anything. So consciously, their mind is just going to pass you off. Why? Because every other thumbnail looked the same. So by positioning your channel to where you create a thumbnail that's similar to your niche, to where it still resonates with your audience, but slightly different, meaning that maybe you do something a little bit different, where you change the color schemes, or you copy a different type of thumbnail style onto a new niche. It stands out and positions your channel as new and novel and creative, and that really helped us a lot to drive the freaking that 1,000 subscribers. Cause think about it though, if no one clicks on your videos, they're not gonna subscribe to you. You know what I mean? And we kind of framed it as that. And another thing we did that really helped us drive a lot of sales was that we made this whole entire event about this copycat era. And like I said earlier, thumbnails all look the same because they're copying off of each other, right? So I kind of made this whole entire new catalyst, which is the copycat era. And to understand what catalyst is, in business, a catalyst is something or someone that quickly triggers a significant change or growth. And guess what? What was our catalyst? The copycat era. Why? Because in order for someone to take action, they must feel pain, or they must have fear or something, right? And therefore, this was the pain and fear. And I'll get back to the copycat era in a second for the emails, because this really helped us get a lot of sales. But after we had the copycat era, after we had the catalyst, our offer, our mechanism, how we're gonna get there, we wrote an entire sales page. This was like 9 pages long. Like I said again, we used the sales page right here. This sales page is really simple. Only for YouTube creators who are tired of the guru shit, because our channel was very our audience was very anti-guru-ish, and we kind of positioned it as that. And we just said, get your next 1,000 subscribers under 30 days. Let's take advantage of channel positioning. It was very simple, and we can just kind of address some objections. I'm not going to go through the sales page because there's no point to, but you get the point though. We ran a pretty good sales page. Other than that, this was kind of like this is kind of how we framed it a little bit. We had, the headline, then we had the VSL, then we had like some quick little bullets on what they're going to get from the sales page, and what they're going to get from, just overall getting the offer. And these bullets are so freaking good, guys. Like, these bullets are so amazing. I really outdid myself for these bullets. But yeah, after that, this sales page works so well because we focus on 3 main factors, which is 1, we sold them on the copycat era. Why? Because 0% of people kind of knew about this whole entire thing, right? Even though subconsciously they knew about it, they didn't have a word for it. They didn't really think about it that much. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you're driving around and you buy a new car that's yellow, you start noticing a lot of cars that are yellow, right? But and you're probably thinking, damn, where did all the yellow cars come from? You know, but in reality, they're always there already, but you never notice it until now. Because why? Because you have a yellow car, right? And therefore, that yellow car is the copycat error. That is our catalyst. And at the time, like I said, no one knew about it until now. After we sold them on the actual problem, we sold them on the solution, which is channel positioning. And the solution was so brain dead easy to connect with because it was always like in the most retarded form, in the most simplest form possible. It was just like making your thumbnails look a little bit different to stand out. That was literally what channel positioning was. And after we sold channel positioning through how simple it was, we sold them on us, meaning we sold them on our results. We sold them on who we were, the results we got for ourselves and for our clients, and it was just easy. It was just easy as fuck after that point. Now, after we made all this other stuff, we had to focus on getting traffic because it doesn't matter if we're doing all this because a lot of money for us was in the back end of stuff. That's where we were gonna launch into the high ticket coaching, the one-on-one stuff, and all this other stuff, right? So we had to get a lot of traffic. So how do we do this? Well, we created a free lead magnet. Now I forgot what was in this lead magnet, but it was just something like it was just something like a 1 hour free training, whatever, put your name in, put your number in, all this other stuff. And this was kind of like where it sent them, and we actually upsell them on the one-on-one coaching. And this isn't really important, but my client did have a school community, my free school community, and all I did was just basically just kind of took what I took from the sales page and kind of just put it on the school community, and everything I said in the school community is actually inside this, inside of it, because what we did was at the time the school community didn't really have a lot of stuff to it. It wasn't really valuable. So what we did was we kind of pulled some of like private trainings and kind of put in the school community so that we could get more traffic inside of it. Because with someone, there was a Zapier automation where if someone just put their information in, it would just take them to our newsletter. You know what I mean? And overall, this helped us get a lot, sign-ins, but also made our school community much more valuable and much more, overall just better overall. Yeah, moving on. Now, after we had the lead magnets, we had a major issue. We had a major issue. Email deliverability. Our emails were hitting spam and they were hitting promotions tab. We were getting open rates like these, open rates like these, and these are bad. These are freaking bad. So, but now they're looking like these. You know what I mean? 40, 70%. And guys, these are the average. Like, these aren't out of the norms. There's so many open rates here. Like these aren't out of the norm. More. Like there's so many open rates here, you know what I mean? And we were able to achieve this by doing three simple things. One, we focus on DKIM, DMARC, and SPF. And what these are is just records for your domain and your email service provider. This just shows to everyone that you're not some scammer all the way from India or freaking Pakistan. And and when you verify your domain so like that, it builds more trust. So therefore, every time you send out an email, it's less likely to hit spam and promotions. Second, we crafted juicy subject lines. Because at the end of the day, guys, if your open rates aren't that good, that means that Google would think to themselves, okay, this person's emails are probably bad, so let's send them to promotions or not send their emails at all. So we crafted a lot of juicy subject lines. Like one, the no more software all white creators need. Another one, why your videos flop, hard truth. Another one, how to easily increase YT retention. You know what I mean? Like, and these emails got a bunch of freaking replies and clicks. And lastly, we provided a free resource, plus we made the emails interactive, meaning that for one, we gave them a free private training on how to get XYZ results. Out of that, we asked them to reply to our emails and to let us know about a problem they're having or something like that, right? And what I did was I actually went into Go High Level and actually replied to them also, so that we can kind of have a back and forth conversation to show people, to show like Google and everyone else that we're actually trusted and we actually reply to our audience, and therefore it builds more trust. So as we send out more emails, Google just automatically trusts us, right? And honestly, in the free private training, guys, it was nothing major, bro. I literally just asked ChatGPT to craft up a private training for us, and it did. And all we did was we gave them a private database of thumbnails that was, I think, in the private community, but then we turned it to a free lead magnet, and then we turned it to like a free resource for so you get more clicks and get better stuff, And the reason why this helped us a lot is because one, for free trainings, a lot of people would click on the free trainings, right? Why? Because it's freaking free. And when the CTR, meaning click through rate, how many people click the link through email goes up a lot, Google thinks to themselves, okay, people trust this person a lot because they're clicking on this person's like link a lot. So that means that next time this person sounds like email, we're gonna put that shit in the inbox. And another thing I did was I made a reminder, say, hey, this is helpful. Reply to this email. Let me know. You know what I mean? And if our audience really found this helpful, they would reply out of this email. Why? Because they want to reciprocate what we were giving them. So overall, that really helped us a lot get our emails in the inbox and just overall getting us a bunch of open rates. But now, after we did all this other stuff, we had to create a urgency. We had to create problems. We had to make sure we had to drive the sales home. So how do we do that? Well, I ran a short 1 week sequence for the copycat era, and like I said earlier, the copycat era is just all videos look the same. You're fucked. You need to do transposition. That was literally it. So what I did was I teased the event, and that was our email. I was teasing how this one. I was doing some Iman Gaji shit, bro. I was like, there's one problem that's causing all your shit, all your problems. It's not this is this. It's something right under your noses that you don't know at all. And I just kind of teased it. I didn't reveal it at all, but I just kept teasing it. Then I revealed it in the second email. I revealed what the copycat era was, and I was like explaining, how it happened, why it was happening, all this other stuff. So I was just driving the pain route. I was just driving the problem home. Then third, I created the problem for them. I shifted from, everyone else to them. I created, hey, here's what's gonna happen to your channel. Or you may have even noticed this already happening already. But guess what? It's only gonna get worse. Why? Because YouTubers have the YouTube niche just retarded. So and at the end of the day, I don't know if that shit was true or not, but I just kind of made that up, and because it probably was true, you know what I mean? And guess what? It worked a lot. Then I gave them the solution, which was channel positioning. It was just basically this email sequence was just basically our sales page, but just written in email format. You know what I mean? Out of that, we had to sell them on us. We had to show them the results that we were getting, and we had to show them that people who were taking advantage of channel positioning were just winning. And that means a lot of sales. I don't know how much sales we made, but I know it was a lot of money. Now, after did all that, how did we drive traffic to our sales page besides emails? And how do we build a lot of trust and rapport? Well, two main things. One, we made viable content. We literally made like a bunch of courses. Here's a 6 hour course right here. Here's a 30-minute course. Here's another valuable video, whatever, right? I mean, like we just gave them a lot of valuable content. And second, we showed a lot of case studies. 30,000 views in 30 days. 1,000 subscribers in 30 days. All this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like it was just a bunch of case studies and a bunch of valuable content, and that all led to us like getting a lot of feedback on our data. Meaning, we knew what type. Okay, so before I get to this stuff, this of course drives us a lot of traffic because it built a lot of trust and it showed people that we knew what we were doing. But second, this really helped us gather a lot of data because we actually looked at the comments, we looked through the school communities, we looked through the email replies, and we literally made a whole sort of map out sheet of what our audience really wanted and what was really gonna get their attention and stuff like that. And when you make a video about something a person really wants, they're gonna click it no matter what. They're gonna watch that shit all the way through. You know what I mean? And this really helped us a lot to sell our one-on-one coaching in order to make better, juicier videos. And the gathering data was really easier because every time someone joined like the school community, they had to fill out a form. Oh, not a form, but they had to like fill out a template where it tells them like who they are, what they do, like what was their goals, whatever. You know what I mean? And I kind of put it in here, so therefore we kind of knew who we need to target and their pain points, stuff like that. And you have to understand something. People inside of our private school community, this was our target ICP, meaning there was like dozens of these types of messages from people who actually bought from us, meaning that we knew who our ICP was, and meaning there was no theories on what the fuck they wanted. We knew what they wanted, you know what I mean? And that really increased our opportunity value in the pipeline. Now, after we did all of that, we made 2 posts. One in the private low-ticket community. We kind of made an announcement saying, hey, announcement coaching. Why? Because the people who already bought from us already are going to buy from us again. You know what I mean? And I was actually in the DMs. So we gave them we kind of gave them a CTA, and we kind of like built up urgency a little bit. Then we told them what they were getting. You know what I mean? And these are just just juicy as fuck, guys. Because at the end of the day, they wanted somebody who was gonna be by their side, just telling them what to do and how to do it, without them thinking for themselves. You know what I mean? And yeah. And second off, we actually made another one in our in our free community. It was pretty short, honestly, nothing too major, and we kind of showed a bunch of results. And this had 2.5K people. So guys, this like really was like another big factor in us making a lot of money as well, because this had a lot of people inside the school community, and and I was actually in the DM studying for a minute. You know what I mean? I was studying a lot of people left and right. I mean, I can't really find any other pictures of me studying because I'm logged out of the account now. But I did some pictures I gathered, and or just me studying stuff like that. And we did set a lot, and we did book a lot of calls, and it got to a point where I couldn't set no more. We had to hire a setter and closer, right? So what we did was, I was in the Discord group and I made a job announcement, right? And at this time, I didn't really have any connections to anyone big in the info space like I do now. So we were just kind of scraping by. And I met a setter here, and I gave him the SOP, I gave him, the CRM and everything, right? He said, and we kind of talked back and forth a little bit. And the SOP was just very simple. It was just kind of breaking down who our ICP was, you know, like some red flags that we did not want them to fucking like talk to, or like, something like that. And like when to engage them by, you know what I mean? And we're kind of like reaching out to people as well. Yeah, so another thing we did is like we actually reached out to people after we made the coaching announcement. We reached out to a bunch of people, just like outbound, and you know what I mean. That went well, and yeah. So we were showing them how to qualify. This was a very short SOP. Like setting is not that hard. Like as long as you have common sense, you'll be fine. You know what I mean? And now there were two ways that the setting. I mean, there was two ways that the sales process went. One, they booked for a call, and they felt, yeah, okay, the first one was basically when someone watches our videos and they go directly to book a call. They watch the VSL, then they book a call with us. You know what I mean? No setting at the beginning. So they book a call, they fill out the form, and as Zapier automation would just go to a Google Sheet where the freaking sender will actually see the information. Now that the sender would dial them like in the first 10 to 15 minutes, and after we did that, they would re-qualify to make sure like people on the type form actually were saying, we're actually qualified, because a lot of people lie in the type form. Sometimes people say they have more money than they actually do, and sometimes people say they have less money than they actually do for some reason. You know what I mean? But yeah, out of that, the second sales process was basically we just set in the DMs. We set in the Instagram DMs, we set in the school DMs, and what we did was we did a short 3-page Instagram sequence, whatever. We were showing results, we were showing the problems. Out of that, we kind of say DM me this word in order to like be like them. You know what I mean? After we send the DMs, the setter would book them, give info to the closer, and the closer had a Google Sheet, whatever, and yeah. And this is kind of area here. This is kind of like the CRM. We had their problems, their dreams, additional info they wanted, their status, if the person followed up with them. You know what I mean? All this other stuff. And yeah, guys, that's basically it. That's how my client went from, I think 16K was to 16K, 18K in pipeline to 47K in pipeline. Actually, no, yeah, 48K in the pipeline. Now, this is all good at all. I mean, now there are three main things that I would have done differently if I was able to go back in time and do it all over again, because these are the three main deciding factors on how kind of like how we were going to capitalize on this money in our pipeline that we didn't at the time, because like I said, we made a lot of mistakes, but there are three main things that stood out to us a lot. Number one, oh shit. We weren't focusing on one thing at a time. We were focusing on selling a low ticket and high ticket simultaneously, and that really fucked us over. And we were focused on like setting up a whole entire email sequence, and we're setting up a whole entire sales page, all this other stuff. And our attention was spread too thinly to where we didn't get a lot of like results, and we really didn't get a lot of things turned out on the deadline. You know what I mean? And that really set us back a lot, meaning that we couldn't execute properly, and we lost a lot of money up front because of that. Second, we didn't take advantage of our opportunity. We had $47,000 in the pipeline that we couldn't collect. Why? Because we couldn't take advantage of our opportunity. And the main reason why we couldn't take advantage of opportunity is because, one, like I said, we were too focused on too many things. Second off, it was very hard to operate at that scale at that point because we were still scrambling around. We were still trying to get everything dialed in, you know what I mean? But the main thing that really fucked us over was we didn't have a stricter hiring process. Guys, when I tell you, when we had a bunch of calls booked, our closer, they did not even join the calls at all. They forgot about it like multiple times. It really fucked us over. We lost a lot of money because of our closer like was fucking lazy as hell. But second off, we had our setter, bro. That setter was not doing his job correctly. Like, I'm not trying to hate or anything like this. It's just like a business perspective. They did not follow the SLP at all. They took like 2 days to get back to a lead, whatever. And I literally had to go into the account and literally set the lead myself and actually say, hey, bro, like by the way, there's someone doing there's literally leads in the inbox. You need to reply them to them ASAP. And he just literally forgot. You know what I mean? And they weren't doing their jobs properly. You know what I mean? And that really fucked us over in the end. And that was kind of made us not able to collect the 40 or even 50, almost 50K in pipeline cash. They're mistakes that I'll learn. We'll learn and move on from to make sure next time that won't happen. But yeah, guys, that is literally how my client went from 18K in the pipeline to over almost 50K in the pipeline in under about 2 months. And yeah, guys, if you're a YouTube coach or creator who wants to scale your info offers or create one and scale it up, just book a call me in the account link down below, and we'll talk about it. And I'll see if I can help you or not. And yeah, that's it. And peace.